In the know, non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Welcome in to Sniffles McPodcast here.
I got that damn cold. I got the one that Dex had. It's not comfortable. It's not comfortable.
He's crumpling up papers between.
I had my notes from last night's Wild game. I crumpled them up because the game was so horse bleep. They were so horse bleep.
Oh,
and now I got a cold.
You can find Judd complaining about the Wild on the Score North YouTube channel. Judd's Hockey Show, Mackie and Judd with AJ last night. That's right. We talk more than just Vikings. If you're like an all-encompassing tortured Minnesota sports fan, you can find Mackie and Judd. You can find Judd's Hockey Show, Flagrant Howls, etc. It's our Saturday checkdown episode here, boys, of Purple Daily Vikings entertainment. 365 days a year of speculation, reaction, theories, whatever you need from us, Vikings fans. And the show is presented by our friends at TCL. TCL is now an official partner of the National Football League, and no matter what you watch, TCL has award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. And TCL makes more than just TVs. They offer mobile products, audio devices, home appliances. TCL brings you joy and simplicity through innovative technology. And a shout-out to our friends over at Athletic Greens. We have a mock draft that continues down a path of something interesting for the Vikings we're going to get to here on this checkdown episode. But about 6 years ago, I discovered Athletic Greens products, and they added a lot of value to my life. AG1 is like nutritional insurance to start your day. One scoop mixed with your water. Take it in the morning. You can mix it in the middle of the day as a boost early in the afternoon, and you're covered for the day with 75 high-quality ingredients, important daily nutrients. This is the first thing sometimes I drink in the morning if I feel like I just need to kickstart my day with some nutritional insurance. Brain fog lifted, energy levels heightened. It helps with my gut health personally. You guys know that I'm not exactly the most, I don't know what the word is, like gut strong person. And I just feel dialed in when I'm using my AG1 from Athletic Greens. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/purpledaily. athleticgreens.com/purpledaily. And if you do, let me know how your experience goes. I'd love to hear, after like a week or two, send me a tweet, send me a DM, send me an email. Would love to hear about your experience. All right, boys. It's time for a Charles Davis NFL.com mock.
I want a mock!
We've done over 30 of these mock draft roundups here, boys. Before the free agency period, most of the mockers had the Vikings going cornerback. After the free agency period, because they signed Byron Murphy, cornerback is less common, and it's turning more toward offense. We've seen some more wide receivers in there. We saw Hendon Hooker at one point.
Yeah.
From Daniel Jeremiah, right? The Vikings drafting Hendon Hooker with the 23rd pick.
Our draft experts here at the Old Score North did not like that at all.
Yeah, what did Thor say about that?
Tyler and Thor both killed it. They said it was awful. Tyler said that he wrote a freelance piece that sounded like it was about 5,000 words on why it was a terrible idea. which if you know Tyler Fornes, is very possible.
Okay.
But they both killed it.
But I think it speaks to, and maybe that's a reach at 23, but it just kind of speaks to there's more and more steam that the Vikings continue to be sniffing around quarterbacks and looking for a long-term solution. So with that as the backdrop, here is the Charles Davis 1.0, I think. This is his first stab at a mock draft here. He's got CJ Stroud going to the Panthers. He's got Bryce Young going to the Texans. Will Anderson Jr. to the Cardinals, and then Anthony Richardson to the Colts. So 3 quarterbacks off the board in the first 4 picks.
Okay.
All right, then we had Tyree Wilson, the big edge rusher from Texas Tech, going to Seattle. Another edge rusher, Nolan Smith from Georgia to the Lions. Miles Murphy off the board to the Falcons. So all the top edge rushers gone. We got some cornerbacks coming off. Jalen Carter falling to the Bears at 9. So defensive fortification here. Bijan Robinson, the first skill position player off the board, 10 to the Eagles.
Ooh.
Then our wide receiver run starts at 12. Texans take Jackson Smith-Njigba. Bunch of good cornerbacks coming off in the teens here. Joey Porter, Christian Gonzalez, Deontay Banks gone. Zay Flowers, the second receiver off the board at 21. Jordan Addison, the third receiver off the board at 22. Well, one of those quarterbacks is conspicuously missing here.
Sniffing around a little bit.
Till we get to the Vikings at pick 23. According to Charles Davis, NFL.com, the Minnesota Vikings select out of the University of Kentucky, quarterback Will Levis.
I want a mock!
I'm going to read this and then you guys react.
Yeah.
Finally, he says, teams picking as high as number 4 will likely consider the big-armed passer from Kentucky, but he lands in my mock with quarterback-friendly coach Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota as the franchise's signal caller for the future. And if Tennessee's Hendon Hooker had not suffered an ACL tear last season, a heavy debate would be had about the former Volunteer being picked in this spot or others in round 1.
Will, by the way, will be throwing today at Kentucky's Pro Day. So as we speak about this, I wonder if Kevin O'Connell has made his way to Kentucky.
He was in Alabama or Georgia?
Actually, I got a note from Dukes this morning. That was an erroneous report from the person that tweeted it. Yes. It was only a scout who was at the Pro Day for Bama. So that would mean that Kevin O'Connell would have to make a special trip. But if you have any thought that this guy might draft you, or you like him as much as the Vikings did, I would expect your head coach to go to his Pro Day. If Will Levis falls that far, which still would surprise me, I don't think it's going to happen. But if he were to fall that far, I guess I got a question back to you guys. Could you blame the Vikings for grabbing him there? Like, this is a team that for a long time we've been like, you got to take shots on quarterbacks. And they're like, oh boy, we've missed before. We don't want to miss again. If Kevin O'Connell tells you to pull the trigger and he falls to you, don't you sort of got to take him?
I'd have to get the flag. I'd have to slam some beers. I would be all in if this pick came down on Thursday night. Judd.
Hold it on. Toughen through.
Oh, my God.
Ow.
Where are you? Are you like physically aching?
My side hurts. My side. I got the problem.
What's wrong with you?
Is it your? You already had a emergency appendectomy.
Right. Yeah. No, this is the left side.
Your liver.
Sort of in the back. I don't know if it's a liver or what. A little bit of pain back there, though.
You might have to have something else emergency removed this
weekend.
I
hope not. That's super expensive. I would appreciate it if I didn't have to. And so would the Hubbards.
But then at the end of the year, you get to kind of do whatever you want, right? Because you've hit your whatchamacallit, your deductible. So you could go. You could have gone in for a bunch of free stuff at the end of the year. Once you hit your deductible, everything's free. Yeah.
Oh, is that how it works? Oh, okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna head on over and have something done.
Well, you're screwed now because it's a new year.
Well, then I'm out.
You should have gone in like November, December.
That is the perk of an HSA, a high yield. Yes, you can. Everything's for free after.
Anyway, that. Will Levis, I would take a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. I was curious, like, what are the reasons why he would slip? And I do have the NFL.com scouting report, the weaknesses section, which I'll go through with you guys here. But in some of the PFF materials where they go into the analytics and whatnot, a lot of Will Levis's passes, it's like he has a very concentrated area on the field where he completes passes. It's short and it's middle. So does he have a wider array of throws that he can make in the NFL? And the arm talent is there apparently, but and the other thing is too, apparently Kentucky lost some weapons and some infrastructure, so he took a kind of a downturn this year. A couple years ago is maybe more representative of what kind of quarterback he is. But on NFL.com, here are some of the weaknesses, all right? Some of the reasons why he might fall, why teams might be nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly a quarter of his passes were thrown to targets behind the line of scrimmage in 2022.
Okay.
So just like screens or swing passes or whatever. Inconsistent post-snap confidence in throwing the ball on time.
Football.
Yeah, that's not good.
Okay. Uncomfortable working against short zones. Big struggles finding his rhythm as a passer in 2022. And he falls into off-platform throws rather than trusting his footwork.
Football.
Just footwork.
Scattershot ball placement and accuracy on simple throws, poor feel inside the pocket for pressure points, and poor second reaction decision-making with the football.
Football.
So Thor Nystrom on Tuesdays has talked about the penultimate thing that you brought up, which is the issue with feeling pressure. Okay. I might have the biggest problem of the litany of things that you read that are wrong with Will Levis. I might have the biggest problem with that one because some of the things that you brought up, I think, can be coached. Not all of them, but some of them. I don't know that you can create the timing mechanism in a person's brain.
Yeah, and that's kind of what smart people like Thor and Tyler and other draft experts would say about Anthony Richardson, that his mechanics are kind of crazy and he needs to be honed in that regard, but he actually has an internal clock that works.
Yeah.
And so if you can feel that pressure and move out of the way, just to balance it out here, I want to give you the strengths. Okay, why if Will Levis does fall to 23, why you should be excited to draft him. Okay, according to NFL.com. So prototypical size and build. He's a big guy. Hand size isn't an issue. He's not 5'10", right? He's a big strapping quarterback, and he's an athletic passer when working off platform. His release is compact, twitchy, and effortless.
Football.
Extremely tough and played through injuries last season. Serious arm talent with ability to complete passes in tight windows. Can send deep passes over the heads of tardy safeties.
Football.
Oh, I love that phrase. That's a band name right there.
Tardy safeties. And he has the ability to slide and throw simultaneously at the same time from the pocket.
Football.
Shuffle, slide.
Interesting. Okay.
Shuffle, slide. So doesn't he seem like the most of the four guys, right, that we've all been talking about in the first round? He seems at this point, now that we're past the combine, we'll see what happens. Maybe he lights up his pro day and his stock goes back up. He seems like the guy whose stock has fallen the most. Anthony Richardson's stock has risen the most, and then Stroud and Bryce Young have just kind of they've always been kind of in that mix for the number one or number two pick.
I feel like that this though is again part of the game where I think that so my guess is that on Stroud and Bryce Young, that they were going into the combine and then their pro days were solidified top picks, right? And to his credit, Richardson had a great combine, is an athletic freak, and we've seen athletic freaks take off.
Yeah.
So there's precedent there. I feel like Levis is very prone now to being brought down. I can't figure out if this is real or this is the annual dance that we do of that guy's not as good as you think. Yeah, let's draft him.
Yeah. And the other thing too that I'm curious about is it's very rare that the order that the quarterbacks are drafted in is the order in which they are good in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes wasn't the first quarterback drafted in his class. Justin Herbert wasn't although he might have gone in the Burrow draft, so I can't remember. Burrow was the first quarterback drafted, right. So sometimes it does work out, or Andrew Luck, or whatever it may be.
Right. But
oftentimes it's the third quarterback drafted in the first round turns out to be the stud, or maybe the fourth quarterback drafted in the first round. So, if Will Levis falls, how many times are you going to get a chance to draft a guy that was being talked about as a top 5 pick?
Right.
At pick 23. It kind of reminds me of the Packers Aaron Rodgers situation.
I was just going to mention that. Yes, because it's all a mechanical thing. His mechanics are screwed up. And you know what? The Vikings might think so. They would have to forfeit a year of his rookie contract in essence because he wouldn't play. But, if you're O'Connell and he sits behind Kirk, and okay, let's say Kirk's I'm not really going to help much. You're okay, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But O'Connell works with him and coaches him up. The Rodgers, it's probably not talked about in retrospect now, how much Rodgers got help by not playing. I've always contended if Aaron Rodgers had replaced Brett Favre on day one of the 2005 season, he might have flamed out quickly.
Yeah, and now it's just I think it's kind of stupid to do that, and the Packers have still done it now. And I guess it.
Yes.
To draft a quarterback that high, instead of a resource that can help your current quarterback who's highly paid, and then have him do nothing for 3 years is a horrible way to manage your roster. They got lucky in both cases. Well, maybe not with, we don't know if Jordan Love's good.
But Jordan Love was a reach too. Like
but it would have been more justified if they had just gone with him after the first year to maximize his contract. Now it's like, let's see, he has a good season. Okay, now he's up for a huge contract, and you totally whiffed on the value of, and they're going to be eating Aaron Rodgers. Like, they're going to have to swallow a lot of cap stuff the next couple of years for Rodgers, basically negating the value of Jordan Love's contract.
The Levis mock draft fall reminds me of, I think it was 2 or 3 years back now, and we talked about this a lot in the same way. Tua. In mock drafts, in like this time of year, Tua started to fall in a lot of them, like really badly. And I'm like, I don't think he gets out of the top 5 still.
Yeah.
But again, it's funny. Teams try to sabotage players and each other. I don't know how much that really works. Like, just the word is out, but the mockers love it.
Yeah, it's easy to trick the mocking community, right? Not easy to trick Kwesi.
USOBs.
So there's your Saturday check down little mock draft update. That's the second we now have. So we did 30 of these, and now the last 2 that we've done, Daniel Jeremiah and now Charles Davis, have had quarterbacks going to the Vikings at 23. So just getting interesting.
Wide receiver. I still think wide receiver. That's my bet.
Okay. Go on the record with a write that down prediction next week, or
I will as the draft
give
approaches.
you any credit.
Oh, I will.
Okay. So, all right, that's right. And people asking too, we hope to have more information as soon as possible, but we will have a Purple Daily draft party night 1 of the NFL draft. So if you're coming from out of town and you need to book a flight, it'll be somewhere in the metro,
close to Minneapolis.
Yeah. It's not going to be in Fargo, so you can fly into MSP, and then we're hoping like next week we'll be able to tell you where that location is officially, so you can book hotel and other arrangements. So we will have a Purple Daily draft party, rest assured. So thanks for hanging out with us here, Daily Vikings Entertainment, Purple Daily. See ya.